All right, we're back. Got a question. The question is it possible to make a great film with not so great gear?
The short answer is no.
Is that true? Really?
No.
I was going to go a completely different direction than that.
I knew which way you were going, so I just wanted to throw my 2 cents in and just be a butthole about it.
Do you have an actual argument for that, though? Because that might be interesting. Maybe we could give 2 completely different opinions.
I mean, what do you think is good gear?
Okay.
Define that first.
I would say yes, but the thing is, what you're probably thinking, or this person's probably thinking of great gear, is actually not that great of gear. I think a big thing is good audio recording equipment and a camera that's able to have like depth of field. If we're talking about that, then I think you can make a great film.
Yes, I mean, but not even just depth of field. They can shoot with a GoPro. I know you don't like it,
but it's not going to look very cinematic, though.
No.
Like, that's the thing, though. When people talk about films, they're wanting that film look, I think, most of the time. You can make a film. Like, there's been indie films out there made, even feature indie films, with cell phones. So, in theory, yeah, you could do it with a GoPro. But I think, obviously, a great film is going to look as cinematic as possible. And so some people might say that's really, I guess, creative. It might be a creative choice.
Yeah.
But if you don't have good audio quality, for sure it's not going to be considered a great film. I think the question is it possible to make a great film? You know what I mean?
I think when it comes to great film, yes, you need a camera. Yes, you need equipment to capture it. But it's about the story more than the film.
That's important, yes. So you do have to have a good story. And if you're not good at making a good story, well, you're not going to be able to make a great film until you make a series of not great films.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to bash on us, but I wouldn't necessarily say anything we've done has been great. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And we're a few years into this. We've made good stuff, and we're making stuff at our level of experience, but ultimately, like a great film, like what you're seeing Hollywood put out with, it's going to be really hard for you to do that because we don't have access to. Why is my phone going off? Let me turn it on silent. You're not going to have as much access to things like locations, props, environment, stuff of that nature that's going to make your film look really great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're also not going to have equipment like they're doing on The Mandalorian, where you can just create an environment in a room with walls. Yeah, no one has that really, not right now. And so a great film. Okay, what do you quantify as a great film?
A good story with a great twist. Something that has good dialogue. It's not boring dialogue. It's not cheesy dialogue. They're good at communicating and having great dialogue.
Okay.
Good back and forth dialogue with a good film. There was a film you told me to watch, and I watched it.
What?
On Hulu. It was a Hulu original.
Oh, was it Spring Break?
No.
Oh, not Spring Break.
It was Drinking Buddies.
Oh, yeah. What did you think of that?
I mean, it was decent, but you liked it because the dialogue, it was just a very plain film. There wasn't much that happened.
I liked it because it felt very real life.
Yeah.
Like the awkwardness of conversation, the casualness, the
dialogue,
the not so much purpose in what's being said felt very real life. And so I wouldn't want to see every film like that. But I think for that style of film, I think it was great.
Yeah.
Did you agree, or what was your...
Yeah, I would agree.
Would you consider that a great film?
It was a good film.
But not a great one.
I would say it was decent.
You got to use the great word or it's not great.
I don't use great when it comes to film.
Okay, well, what's a great film in your mind?
It was decent. No.
Okay.
A great film. The only film I can think of that I watched and was like, this was the best thing I've seen because I was not expecting it is like Sixth Sense, where they threw something just insane at the end.
Yeah.
That's films I like.
Those are few, and as the term goes, far between.
Yeah.
So it's hard to come by a great film. So I would say, okay, to answer both of your questions, this is how I would quantify it. I would say be kind of comfortable with the idea of not making a great film. Because if this is your first one, you are probably not going to make a great film. Unless you are a mastermind creative genius, which all of us like to think we are.
I am.
All of us like to think we are. But the reality is more likely it's going just to have to take time for you to learn to get there.
Yeah.
And you have to be comfortable. I mean, that's more important than making a great film, being comfortable with making a not great film.
Or just being comfortable having good dialogue. I mean...
Yeah.
I think, I'm curious, and this is a film idea I've always wanted to do, is just set up cameras and have people talk like a podcast, but have it in a set direction and have an actual thing going on, like a story, like they're doing something.
I know what you're thinking. It's not like that, but the closest thing we do have to that is the animated show Midnight Gospel on Netflix that Duncan Trussell made.
I should watch this.
You should watch that.
A lot. I've never seen it.
That's the closest thing we have to an actual narrative story that was done in podcast style form. So literally there's moments that are really funny where they had Dr. Drew on, and he said he was playing a character or just talking as a character in a conversation, and he said Duncan, and you could hear, and they left it in, and you could hear the character that Duncan's playing say, I can't remember the name. He said, the name's Clancy. Because that's the character's name, and Dr. Drew accidentally called him Duncan. Because they were having a conversation, but it was meant for a cartoon animation.
Yeah.
So it was really good, and it's very humorous and very funny and very random. If you think Adventure Time's a little out there, then you're going to have a field day with this. Actually, it was co-created by people who did Adventure Time.
I think it'd be decent to watch. So we'll watch it.
Okay.
I'll watch it.
Go watch Midnight Gospel on Netflix. Take a look at that. No, it's not great.
Go watch.
But it's very good.
Sixth Sense.
Yeah, Sixth Sense. That's a great film. Okay, I'm going to sum up real quick, and then we'll get to the next one, I guess.
Okay.
All right. Number one, you don't have to have a lot of great gear to make a great film. But it's rare to see that. And also, you have to have a little something. I mean, at least $1,500 worth of gear. Probably.
No, I disagree.
Okay, $1,000 worth of gear?
I disagree.
$800 worth of gear?
I disagree.
How much money do you think gear is needed?
$500 worth of gear.
Okay, that's not going to get you a camera that can even have depth of field.
A GoPro and a lavalier mic, my guy.
Okay, a GoPro and a lav. Joshua thinks you can make a great film. That's the challenge.
Challenge accepted.
From you, or they're accepting your challenge?
From me.
Okay.
Do we have a GoPro? We got a lavalier mic, right?
We do.
Okay, I'm taking it.
It's not
challenge
good.
Accepted.
It's not good, but it's really cheap, so maybe it's a part of a good challenge.
Okay, in a couple weeks, you'll see.
So I can't use any of this stuff.
Nope.
Crap.
Let's go. We're making it.
Maybe. All right. I guess you don't have to have a lot of great gear to make a good film. Focus on the story. Also get comfortable with not making a great film. It's a part of the process.
Yep.
All right. Send us an email. Actually, leave a comment.
On this video, yeah.
On this video, ask us a question for future videos, and we'll answer your question here on the WiseWorks podcast YouTube channel.
And if you enjoyed this or want us to make more, or if you don't, just comment indeed.
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 Let us know you agree. Or if you disagree, maybe put, you're a nerd.
What?
Yeah, because it's the opposite of geek, which is what the podcast.
Okay.
Whatever. All right, we're turning it off.